Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for another 10-minute, 1-minute, 10-second challenge. We've already done bunkers, we've done houses as well, and now we are going to be taking a look at weapons. I think with everything that's been going on with the Hermitcraft Civil War and then Grian designing some traps, I'm well and truly in the mood for some killing. That sounded a lot more sinister than I was expecting it to, so police, if you're listening to this, please don't come to my house. Anyway, I think the first one that I want to construct, and this is going to be the 10-second build, is going to be a TNT cannon of sorts. Now, whether or not I can build this in 10 seconds, I'm not sure, but I'm going to try my best. I'm going to have to do some stretches here, and I'm going to have to just really work hard on getting this correct. In 3, 2, 1, and go. So that right there is going to be our input. Then we're going to have a block, and this is going to be our other dispenser, and then these blocks need to wrap around like this. We need to have some water right there, and we need to place some TNT on the inside of this one. That's everything done. That should now be a fully functioning TNT cannon. Should we give that another go then? And go. Now this should hopefully give us a tiny bit more firepower in the TNT department. So there's this, that, slab, block, and then the rest. And the water. I think we might have just about done it. Redstone dust, we have everything. So if we now give this thing a go, hopefully it shouldn't explode the entire area around it. I mean, that works, doesn't it? That is a functioning TNT cannon. And not bad for 10 seconds, I've got to say. I mean, I've definitely seen better, but I'm quite impressed. Anyway, let's move on to the 1-minute design. And you know, I think because clearly that wasn't frustrating enough already, I'm going to try my best to create another TNT cannon for our 1-minute challenge. But it's not going to shoot in one direction. In theory, it is going to shoot in a bunch of different directions. I want to create some form of scatter cannon. Now, I've never actually done that before, really, so this is going to be my first time doing it, and I've got to try and do it within 1 minute, which is only 6 times the length of time that I had for that first. I might have bitten off more than I can chew here. Why do I keep choosing to do TNT? Well, despite that, I think we're going to stick with it, and we have got 1 minute to create this design. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to create a 3x3 platform, then add some side bits to it with pressure plates on those to stop all of the water from flowing out in all directions. So that should be nice and simple. Then we're going to need 4 dispensers in the center here, all pointing inwards. We're going to need to remove all of those blocks and place in all of the water, which is going to be around the outside. Now we're going to need redstone dust on top of all of these, a block here, and that right there is going to be our input. Then we're going to need a block up like this, a redstone torch on both sides of it, same thing on the other side as well, and then we need to place our dispensers facing downwards, and that will be everything. No! Don't do this! I've got 10 seconds left! I can't believe it! I hate these things! I hate them! Come on! Right, that's that! And then this! And then that! I don't know if I did it. I did! 1 minute and 4 seconds! Yes! I actually managed to pull it off. Oh, I was ready to actually blow that thing up just then. I was well and truly ready to just pour TNT all over it. Anyway, we managed to get this thing sorted. So as you can see, TNT pops out in the middle, then TNT on the outsides, and boom! It fires off in, yeah, all the directions. That is quite the force to be reckoned with. Very, very cool. Okay, now we move on to the slightly less stressful, but always slightly more impressive 10-minute design. Now, I do have some fairly ridiculous ideas for this thing. I'm hoping to involve some guardians. I want to involve pufferfish, potions, arrows, fire charges, the whole 9 yards. And hopefully we can create something pretty powerful here. Although we do still only have 10 minutes. That's only 10 times the amount of time that we just had for the previous challenge. And that was stressful enough. And 3, 2, 1... let's do this. So I'm thinking that we build up kind of like a fortress type thing. So I'm going to have blocks probably placed in a little bit like this. And then they're all going to go up and around like that, and it's going to be just kind of a big square where we have all of the traps and weapons in place. Now, the first thing that I've actually come up with, which totally wasn't in my original design idea, but I think is going to be amazing, will be proximity detectors, making use of blaze, and then arrow shooters. But actually first, let's do the pufferfish. In fact, we can connect that in. Now, what I'm hoping is that this blaze right here, he currently isn't that bothered by me because I'm in creative mode. But if I pop through into survival, he should spot me and then go up like that, and that should deactivate this pressure plate. And then he comes back down onto it. Okay, that's amazing. Now, in theory, all I should have to do is add in a nice little redstone clock that is going to be super simple, like this. And that should activate everything when this blaze drops down. So let's give it a quick test then. Now, unfortunately, I think there is a chance that that cow might meet a bit of a grim end. Oh my word! Oh my word! That's crazy. And it's still killing me now that I've respawned. I respawned in a fire. Holy mackerel. So I guess you could argue that that was a bit of a strong start, but we can continue this on, and I think some close proximity weapons such as pufferfish is probably a good way to go. Now I'm going to need a dispenser right here. This is going to be dispensing out our pufferfish from the water buckets, and then they are going to pour out the top. And I guess if we set ourselves up with something like this, then the water should flow out kind of straight forward, so it will shoot them outwards. I completely changed up that design, but I've come up with this, and hopefully, oh, they're fish. Yeah, they don't move in water quite like other mobs do. Right. Okay. We have to do something completely different then. So how about this? It will shoot out a pufferfish. You know what? It may not be that lethal. Well, it would be pretty lethal, but it's also just hilarious. These little things are ridiculously strong, so if the player was stood up here and we was just firing down pufferfish, I mean, if I stand in the mix here, you actually get knocked around a bunch, and then when that blaze kicks in, I mean, it means business, doesn't it? The next line of defense is to stop the player from actually gaining access to those dispensers, so we are going to need, I guess, more poison? I guess poison's probably the way to go. How long have we got left? The answer is really not very long, but there is one more defense system that I think is incredibly useful for this sort of thing, and that is the moat. Having seen how effective Team Star's moat was outside their build, I can't build a weapon without it. I mean, seriously, it's just ridiculous. I mean, of course, it can be defeated by placing a bridge of blocks. I don't know why I never thought of doing that with Team Star, but still, I mean, it's a pretty powerful thing. And yes, I am just doing a terrible patch-up job on the walls because we really don't have much time to play around with here. But of course, this isn't going to be any old moat. No, this is filled to the brim with guardians, all renamed Subscribe, of course, because, you know, that's how things go here. But if the player falls in here, they're going to be in trouble. They're not going to be able to get out. And most importantly, they're hopefully not going to be able to get anywhere near this thing. I don't even know what we're meant to be protecting. I mean, like, I guess diamonds back here? What could we protect? What requires a weapon this powerful? And as we had a little bit of time left at the end, I mean, it's only right that we create some form of TNT type cannon. And thankfully it works properly, because I just accidentally activated the thing, and if it hadn't worked properly, I haven't made a backup of this thing, so that really would have eaten into our 10-minute time limit. Anyway, this thing is now all fully constructed. We are now out of time, so I think it's probably a good idea that I start off by showing you all of the manually activatable devices. So we've got ourselves a TNT cannon, as you can see right there. That will cause some issues for anyone just walking up to it. I mean, that's not going to feel good. We also have the potions that get shot out the front. So there is Potion of Poison. Once again, that's really not going to feel particularly very good. Then, of course, we've got the pufferfish shooters, which I actually haven't... Yep, they just fall straight into the... they fall straight into the moat, which I suppose could be useful. But then they land in the magma. Maybe that needs... That could have done with some thought. I didn't really think that one through. Anyway, to wrap things up, we also, of course, have got the little blaze set up right here. So eventually, when this guy spots us, it's not going to be good news. I mean... That's so crazy. It's so funny. The blaze takes a little while to kind of pop up, but then eventually when he does, it just obliterates the entire area. Anyway, I think it's safe to say that I haven't done too badly for a 10-second, 1 minute, 10-minute challenge. I'd say I've done pretty decently. These weapons are really quite powerful, and oh, here it goes again. Didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it. Get me out of here. So there we go. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.
One.